Good afternoon, you guys, and welcome to number 38. Thank you all for joining us today for this historic announcement for the city of Denver, the state of Colorado, and for passionate sports fans everywhere. I'm Jordan Angeli, Lakewood native, Green Mountain High School graduate, Denver resident, and I am honored to be here today for a monumental day for this state and for women's sports. It's no surprise to me to look out here and to see a room full of people that I've known for a really long time in the soccer world, people that I've played with, and really just the community that has supported this idea for so long. You guys continue to set the bar for what it's like to host women's soccer events, creating some of the most exciting environments in all of sports. You guys ready to get this party rolling? Yeah. Please join me in welcoming to the stage NWSL Commissioner Jessica Berman, Governor of Colorado Jared Polis, Mayor of Denver Mike Johnston, Rob Cohen, and Melody Hobson. I gotta say, Melody brought it with that outfit too, right? That's the best suit I've seen in a long time. All right, to kick off today's event, please join me in welcoming. Let's give a mile-high welcome to NWSL Commissioner Jessica Berman.
Wow, the energy in this room is palpable. One of my favorite things that I get to do as commissioner of the NWSL is choose and award an expansion team. This is such an incredible honor. You see the process of a bid forming, you see the energy of a community, you see the fabric of what makes a city uniquely that city, and this city is incredible. I think back to the meetings I've had with all of the different constituents who have been part of this bid for a very long time, and seeing it mature over the last year plus and watching it come together has been a thrill. Having the chance to meet the mayor and the governor and see the public and private support for this bid. But I'll also just give a shout out to the literally thousands of postcards I was sent, thousands, by the girls of this community who play soccer and want to aspire to play professionally, and they deserve it. So with that, you may have seen there's a special ball on my chair. I have the great honor of officially granting the 16th NWSL team to the city of Denver. So I'm going to give the mic back to Jordan, but I also just want to give a special shout out to Rob Cohen and Melody Hobson, who are going to lead this team to greatness, make all of you very proud, and continue to raise the bar for the National Women's Soccer League to be the best league in the world. Thank you.
Ooh, I think we need to hear it again. Denver, welcome to NWSL. Commissioner Berman, when you said that, I see two young girls right here in the audience. One's GoProing everything, because this is going to be a moment that she's going to look back on and she's going to remember as one that changed her life. So I just thank you for that, for your words. It's a really exciting time to be a women's professional soccer fan here in Colorado. Thanks, Commissioner Berman, for bringing pro soccer to Denver. With that, I'd like to bring up the individual who did so much in bringing this dream and making it a reality. You guys, let's get loud for the new controlling owner and governor of Denver NWSL, Rob Cohen.
All right. You guys know me, I'm not usually speechless, but this is a fantastic day for Denver. This is simply awesome. I can just tell you that this has been a long time coming for a lot of us that have worked tirelessly on this for not only just a couple years, but literally for decades. And I'm so glad there's young people in the audience to watch this and tape this, and we're looking forward to having you play for our team. So can't wait for that to happen. The people who know me know I have a poem on my desk. It's called The Station by Robert Hastings, and the essence of the poem is that you should focus more on the journey than the destination, because it's the journey that it really is the rich part of the experience that you have. And I can tell you that this journey for the past several years has been one of those experiences that has been rich. But I also think this is one of those destinations where it's all right if we pause as a community and we reflect and we step back and we look at it and we say, look at what we did. We are bringing a professional NWSL team to Denver, Colorado, and that's happened because all these people in this room and the community at large wanted it to happen. So we need to take that moment and just pause and really soak that in. I would just tell you that as an ownership group, we've had a lot of conversations about the vision that we have for this team, and we have a vision for creating a legacy that is obviously built on bringing championships to our community and winning. That's what our community expects of all of our sports franchises that are here. But we're also about building a culture that's inclusive and that includes the entire community, that's one that creates that culture around where the best players in the world want to play in Denver, Colorado. The best coaches in the world want to coach in Denver, Colorado. The best executives want to work here. We have the best fans. We have the best fan experience that we can possibly create. And maybe just as importantly, we have the best facilities that are designed for and built specifically for women. And that's one of the reasons why this ownership group is willing to make the largest investment in professional women's sports in history. It takes that in terms of what we want to do and how we want to create that, because we believe what this team can do is it can be impactful and it can be transformative for our community. And collectively as a group, we're looking forward to collaborating with our entire city, state, and region to build a franchise and to build a team that everybody that's in this region, that's in this state, that's in this city can be proud of and can be something that they respect and can be authentically Colorado. So thank you, and really excited to get on with the celebration later today.
Thanks. Oh, we'll celebrate today, don't you worry. Yeah, Denver knows how to party. Thank you, Rob. We're so excited to have you lead the way. So thank you so much. Governor Polis is an entrepreneur, a business leader, dedicated public servant, and Colorado sports fan. I feel like that order. Maybe sports fan? You're a big sports fan, man. You are a big sports fan. As Governor, Polis is focused on saving Coloradans money, keeping the economy strong, and building a sustainable, affordable, vibrant Colorado for generations to come, and making Colorado the best place to train and compete. I think the team will like that too. Please join me in welcoming Governor Jared Polis.
Thank you, Jordan. Most importantly, by the way, I'm the father of a 10-year-old daughter who plays soccer. So, we have this theory in Colorado that because we train a mile high, we have a competitive advantage across competing at sea level and other places. The Rockies disprove that. But nevertheless, we're very excited to bring women's soccer to Mile High. Hey, thank you to National Women's Soccer League, Commissioner Berman, Mayor Johnston. Rob Cohen, Melody Hansen. You know, what we're tired of doing here, Commissioner, is girls grow up here, women train here, and then they go off to play for other teams. And we want to make sure we give a place for our homegrown talent to excel at the professional level and, of course, attract people from across the country and across the world to play here in Denver for our new women's professional soccer team, which really will be supported not just by Denver residents, but across our entire state, from Pueblo to Grand Junction to Fort Collins. We're proud of our teams, and we're very excited to come out and support them in enormous numbers in every sport. This new team is part of our proud legacy in women's soccer. We've cheered on Colorado-trained Olympians, Lindsay Horan, Sophia Smith, Mallory Swanson. Here with us today, of course, Jordan and Jelly, Colorado-born. Woo! And we know there's a lot of great talent to come, So we are thrilled that starting, we hope, in the 2026 season, Denver will host the National Women's Soccer League's 16th team. And I look forward to joining the first game along with my family. I know the mayor does. I know many of you do, along with many of our fellow Coloradans, to cheer on what will be, Commissioner, a record-breaking first season, I assure you. We've really scored a goal with this, and I'm excited to welcome Denver and Colorado's newest team.
He even brings in some puns there. I like it, the goal. Thank you, Governor Polis. We appreciate your continued support of bringing NWSL to Denver. Now I'd like to introduce you guys to Denver NWSL's alternate governor, Melody Hobson. Melody is co-CEO and president of Ariel Investments, LLC, the first and oldest African-American-owned mutual fund company in the United States. Ariel is the parent company of the newly formed private investment firm, Project Level, which is investing in this franchise. Led by Hobson and former Washington Commanders president Jason Wright, Project Level's mission is to level the playing field in women's sports through investment and ownership. The firm is capitalizing on the underappreciated growth and value embedded in women's sports today through a highly curated portfolio of professional and emerging sports teams and leagues, junior and college sports, and related businesses that directly benefit from the global expansion of women's sports. Denver, let's give another mile-high welcome to Melody Hobson.
All right, I'm calling us the Sweet 16, just by the way. I think it works. I want to start off by thanking the commissioner for giving us at Ariel this amazing opportunity to work with Rob and all of the other impressive owners that are able to bring this great team to Denver. We are so excited at Ariel that we're jointly launching our new fund, Project Level, which we just couldn't be more excited about, at the same time that we have this wonderful opportunity to be a significant investor in this new opportunity. Our whole idea is that women's sports are at a generational shift. We're watching it in real time, and we have a front row seat for what is happening, and we want to be a part of elevating women to their rightful place in the pantheon of sports. And we know what that means also for all the girls and boys who will watch these amazing athletes on the field, and what will mean not only for them, those individuals, not only the fans, but also for our society. So we are thrilled to be here. I also have to say it's an exciting time. One of my favorite lines of all time, math has no opinion. And what does the math tell us? The math is astounding. The viewership is up. The fandom is up. The sponsorships are up. The media rights are up. Everything that is happening in this area of women's sports and that will happen right here in Denver benefits communities, benefits society, and we are, again, so excited to be a part of it, and also at the same time to generate great returns for our investors. I want to thank, first of all, the commissioner, as I said, but also Rob, because he welcomed us into this conversation. We came to see him, and I said, Rob, we're getting married. We're getting married. And it is really true. We are getting married into this opportunity, and I've never been more excited. I also want to thank the governor, who happens to also be brilliant because he went to Princeton. And he's a fellow Princeton Tiger, so I'm happy to work with him. And the mayor, Mike Johnston, and I, we've been friends for a couple of decades. We've been really close friends, and I know how excited he's been to support this endeavor and to just make the combination of government with the private sector and, of course, the league to make this possible. I also want to mention, I think you all know I have another Denver team, and it's because of the Walton Penner ownership group that invited me to be an owner of the Broncos, where I really got to be a part of the Denver sports community and got to see what Denver sports enthusiasm is like. And obviously our team came a long way, right? And so the opportunity to start in this endeavor working with Jason Wright, who's my partner in Project Level, who used to work for that other team, the Commanders, they're okay. That it's just been such a wonderful opportunity. So now to have two legs in the Denver community as it relates to sports is just fantastic. When I left this morning, I didn't know if you all know, my husband, I married Yoda's dad. Yoda's dad, when I left this morning, he's like, "You're going to Denver again?" He's like, "Wait a minute, are we moving to Denver?" And I said, "Kinda." So thank you so much for having us as part of this community, and thank you for being excited for our team. We cannot wait to play. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melody. Lastly, please welcome one of our city's biggest advocates for bringing professional women's soccer to Denver. He actually was talking to one of my youth coaches trying to get in on this, so he's all in the soccer scene as well. Please welcome Denver's Mayor Mike Johnston.
Who's ready to bring women's pro soccer to Denver? I know there are so many folks in this crowd who have been working on this for months and years, and this is an incredible success for all those community leaders who have gotten us here. I, of course, want to thank the commissioner. It's been such a pleasure to work with you as a partner over these last 9 months. Your team's been amazing, and we're so grateful for your partnership to jump into what we know is going to be incredible success. I will tell you, Rob and Melody, I've already instructed our team at Dottie to reserve downtown for championship parades in 27 and 28. So you already have the city held, just to make sure you're ready. But I just think today is an incredible moment for the city. I've always thought that this is one of the best sports cities in America, has one of the best fan bases, but we could never really be America's best sports city without a professional women's sports franchise. We knew that's what was missing, and we knew this is a soccer town. I am very proud of the fact that, for those of you that don't know, of the starting 11 on the U.S. women's national team, 3 of those starting 11 called Denver home. So by my record, any city in the world in a 3v3 tournament we can take. We are pretty much ready for that. But in all seriousness, I don't know how many of you were there, but I went to the U.S. women's game at Dick's when they played South Korea a little more than a year ago. Went with my daughter, and I've been to many, many games at Dick's. That was the single hardest one to get into, because you had to park about 8 blocks away, and you had to start the pilgrimage of the tens of thousands of us who were moms and daughters and dads and daughters and aunts and daughters filing into that stadium, faces painted, thrilled about the chance to see the most talented players in the world play right here in their hometown. And of course, that day, Mallory Pugh-Swanson scores 2 goals and reminds us that so much of that talent is right here from our hometown. But what's amazing when you watch the eyes of my daughter that day, and all the daughters walking out of that building, is not just the belief that I belong here, that yes, I too want to play professional sports. I too can see myself at the very top of this game. It's that I can see myself at the very top of any game. I could see myself as the CEO of Ariel. I could see myself as the commissioner of National Women's Soccer. I could see myself playing on the U.S. Women's National Team. That is what inspires our girls to believe that this town is theirs, this city is theirs, this country is theirs, and it's all open for them to dream and to achieve. That's what we start today in Denver, and we can't wait to see the first kickoff. We can't wait to see the first championship, but most of all, we can't wait to see tens of thousands of girls and their parents and their family filing in and out of our purpose-built women's soccer facility where they can come celebrate the best as they dream to be the best. You made that happen in Denver, and we couldn't be more grateful. Congratulations, Denver. Let's get to work.
Thank you, Mayor Johnston. Your enthusiasm for soccer just oozes out of you. And it also makes me think just the accessibility that has been provided by Commissioner Berman, that when I was a 13-year-old kid, I had to search the TV channels to watch the U.S. women's national team play in the '99 World Cup. Now, because of the big media deal, we're everywhere, every single weekend, and now young kids are just gonna have to walk into a stadium to see that this dream can be their reality as well. I just thank you all for your inspiring words, for everything that you have had to say today to welcome Denver to NWSL. We are now going to open the floor for a few questions from our local media. Yeah, go ahead.
You guys have talked a lot about making one of the biggest investments into women's sports in history. I'm wondering what role that played in Denver being chosen, that dollar figure, and it's over double the amount that was paid in the past. And why was it so high, and how much did that play a role in Denver getting the team?
I'm happy to start, and then I'll turn it over to Rob and Melody. When we look at expansion bids, we focus on three important considerations: the market, ownership, and facilities. And it was really the holistic picture as it relates to Denver's bid that made it clear that they should be chosen as Team 16. It is a competitive process. It was a competitive process. We had higher demand than we had supply, and the interest in women's sports and in the NWSL in particular has never been higher. And so, it's a recognition, I would say, by the ownership group and for all of the incredible talent that exists in and around the NWSL that these athletes deserve to be invested in. And as importantly, as Melody talked about in her remarks, we're building this as a business. No longer is women's sports thought of as charity or philanthropy. We live by the values of do good and do well. And because we now have built the framework for a sustainable business, we have real investors who understand that if you invest, there will be a return on that investment. And that's the way men's sports has grown for decades. So this is not a new concept in professional sports. It's just new for women. And we're excited to be bringing it to the forefront here in Denver.
I'd say, is that on? I'd say what she said.
So one of the things that we thought about when we were doing the math is just look at the fact that, yes, the number is by the standards of what we've seen recently, it's a lot more. However, it's 1/10 of the most valuable men's team in sports in America. So that says a lot about the value that can still be created. And we are convinced a decade, 2 decades from now, we're gonna look back and say, we are so glad we own these teams. And this will seem like the best bargain price that you could possibly imagine. So we're happy to pay to play in this situation because we think it's a down payment on future returns and great gains.
I would just add, I was kind of half kidding. No, I should, the moment overtook me. I should have taken a moment in my comments to thank the commissioner and the NWSL for awarding us the franchise. Sorry that I left that out of my remarks.
You said thank you like 10 times, so it's okay.
Yeah, but one of the things I say is most people seem to focus on the expansion fee, and that's just one very small piece of kind of the investment that we're talking about making. And when you think about purpose-built venues around a training facility and doing it in a way that's designed and built for women, it's easy to make that statement. It's a lot more complicated to actually execute it. And the studies show that today, facilities are being built and designed still in the shadow of men's sports, as opposed to being built for what the needs are for women. and how we can do that. And so we're spending a lot of time and a lot of money to invest in trying to create that facility, again, that will be unique and different for women, to create a stadium that will be unique and different. And when I talk about it, it's about the total investment. The expansion fee is just a single piece of it. And we are both business people as well as everybody in the ownership group. And I think Melody said it, math matters. We did the math every way from Sunday, and we feel quite confident in the end. We're going to be really thankful that we made this investment.
So you just mentioned building a new stadium and facilities for the team. What will the financing look like for that stadium, and do you have any plans to use any public dollars for that?
So the idea and the discussion that we've been having is that we're going to use private dollars to build the stadium, and but like any project like this, there is a collaboration that needs to happen between the community and the organization and the ownership group in order to make that happen, to make that dream come alive. And there are some creative things that we are in discussions with a number of jurisdictions around our city and state just so that we can make that happen.
I would just add, yes, obviously the franchise fee, all privately paid, the stadium construction, all privately paid. We are deeply committed that this will be a purpose-built women's stadium in the city and county of Denver, and will be accessible to neighborhoods where folks can walk and bike and easily approach that in a comprehensive community-based development. And we see our role as helping help find that site and also help facilitate the access to that site to make sure that whatever beautiful stadium they built is easy for folks to get to.
Really quickly, as we move the microphone around, just introduce yourself and your outlet. Would be great to know who we're talking to. Thank you.
This question is for Melody. I'm Kyle Noon with the Denver Post. So you talked about project level. Where did that really originate? Like, what were you sitting in your office one day talking with your cohorts? How did that really come to your mind, come to fruition? And most importantly, why was Denver, top of your mind to add to your portfolio for that?
So let's start off with the fact that sports is not new to Ariel or to me. And so our firm has had investments in sports over the years in ways that are accessible to publicly traded stocks that we've bought that are sports related. So we've been investors in Madison Square Garden. We currently own Madison Square Garden Sports. We've owned Manchester United in our portfolios that we manage for our clients. And then personally, John Rogers, who founded Ariel 44 years ago, John started in sports, with women's sports specifically, as an original owner of the Sky in Chicago, the WNBA team, when it came to Chicago in 2005. And then my own sports ownership started several years ago as well, where I quietly, only just recently, let it be known, bought into the Chicago White Sox, then the Broncos, then the League One volleyball, and just slowly but surely started to see the power of sports, not only as a business, but also really then seeing the undervalued nature of women's sports. The idea really took shape last year, and it was as a result of a conversation with a friend who approached me about this idea. Ultimately, we did not pursue the idea together, but she made a compelling case, and then my own personal experience, as well as the experience of Ariel, rolled up together. And then Ariel's general counsel and chief administrative officer, Emma Rodriguez Ayala, who is our third leg of the stool that has worked on this project with us for the last year, Emma was like, Melody, this is a great idea. So the two of us started working on it. I saw Jason present at a conference, and I made a beeline to him on the stage, and I said, I need to spend time with you, and ultimately convinced him to be the third party in our formation of this new fund. So it was an idea that came over time, but we started to intensely work on it over the summer. This is the first team. So we're in conversations with all sorts of other things. As Jason likes to say, the fish are jumping in the boat, because this is that moment in women's sports. The ideas are abundant.
I just have to add a side story, since she just told the story about how she met Jason. By the way, Melody is quite remarkable. If you're not figuring that out, it won't take you long. But I heard her speak at a conference, and my wife can attest to this. I made a beeline for her the second after she got off the stage and said, I got to talk to you about a women's professional team in Denver. And that's where the relationship started.
Hey there, Katie Cheshire with Denver Westward. You've talked a lot about the amazing talent this state has. How will you build the team in a way that ensures that talent actually wants to stay here and play here?
Well, hopefully I talked about that a little bit up front, because I think a lot of it's about creating the culture, creating the facilities, creating that opportunity that's unique and different where they want to come play and be a part of the team. I think the new CBA model that the NWSL has, where there isn't really a draft or an expansion draft, and most of the players when their contract, not most, the players when their contracts are done are essentially free agents, gives a community like ours that has the kind of quality of life, all the assets that we have to round out their entire life, because soccer is only part of their life, but also what we can do as a community, and then the giving back and the connection with the community and the diverse communities that I talked about. If we do that in a unique and different way, we're going to create that unique culture where the women want to come here and they want to play, and once they get here, they're going to want to stay.
Jake Shapiro from 104.3 The Fan. My question to you is, how are you going to ensure your executives are the right executives, the front office that you pick and the coaching staff? What qualities will you be looking for in those teams?
Yeah. Look, nobody can ensure. I'm in that business, so I know it pretty well. There are risks in everything that we do, and that is true in the hiring process. But again, if you build something that's built on culture, that's built on values and alignment of values, then I think you have a greater chance of ultimately finding the people that have those shared values. People ask me all the time in my company or in other places, how did I create the culture that I created? And I always tell them, if you ask me that question, you don't truly understand the true definition of the word culture, because an individual can't create a culture. What an individual can do is have a set of values, attract other people that have those values, and then that grows from there. In fact, Melody talked about her comment about marriage. We spent the first part of our conversation together about our values, about our vision, about what it was we wanted to do before we ever dug into the economics, the stadium, what it is that we're going to do. And I think if we do that same thing with our executives, we will have a greater chance than not that we'll find the right people for the position. So that's how we're going to ensure it. Yep.
I think it also helps that we have Jason, and Jason ran the Commanders as president, first black president in the 105-year history of the NFL when he got that job. And so he knows about running a team and has great relationships in sports, and I think that will help us in terms of how we vet and attract executives. So he's an operator, and I think that will be a key ingredient to our success as well.
I know it sounds piling on. I'll give it to you in a second. It's the one time I can put the mayor at halt. No, and the other thing is we have brought on a search firm, CAA Search, to help us with the search that is really world-class at doing that, and they'll be part of the process as well.
I will also be offering regular unsolicited advice on player acquisition. So they have that available to them also.
One more question in the back here.
Andrew Hobner with CBS News Colorado here in town. A lot of stadiums that we're seeing in professional sports are more anchors of larger developments with apartments, entertainment, et cetera. Are you guys looking at having a stadium and a purpose-driven facility as part of a broader development, or are we talking about a stadium and just the facility in a place where people want to be?
We're talking about a larger vision, and I think the mayor alluded to it a little bit in that the sites that we're looking at are ones that give us those opportunities that you're talking about. That's not just a stadium, but that creates a unique experience, that creates opportunities for the neighborhood, that creates connectivity in our city, especially between neighborhoods that maybe aren't as connected as they should be and in new ways. And so we're really excited about the kind of the entire scope of the project that we're thinking about, as opposed to just focus on the stadium itself. If you want to add it.
I'll just say that we're optimistic we may have some exciting announcements in the months to come. So stay tuned.
I love that. All right, thank you guys so much. Rob, I think you need to keep holding this now that we got the questions out. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending today's historic event. Just overjoyed, really. I think that's the word that keeps coming back to me, that we are standing here in front of a community that from the start has supported this wild idea to bring an NWSL team to Denver. So make sure you continue to tag along. You can get your season ticket deposits in. Before we started here, we're already up to 2,000 season ticket deposits, and that number is gonna keep going. So yes, you guys text your friends, make sure we keep that number getting higher and higher as the day goes on. You can get those at denvernwsl.com. We are excited to see you guys, all of these faces at future community events over the next, 12, 13 months, and for you all to be here when Denver NWSL kicks off in 2026. That now concludes today's press conference. Speakers, I'm gonna have you guys stay. We're gonna have some group photos on stage, and then today's pitch side reception will commence shortly. We look forward to celebrating with you all. Hey Denver, we got an NWSL team. Let's celebrate.